Right, Mustang fans and surrounding areas, welcome to Monday podcast, Mustang Monday podcast. This is the podcast where we talk Ingleside sports. We've had a few podcasts already early on. We had our basketball boys and girls. We had our soccer girls. Our soccer coach for the boys for the Mustangs, Coach Williams, was unable to attend the podcast tonight, but we're hoping to reschedule him for Wednesday. And I'll let you guys know tomorrow on the MPNB, our Facebook page and Twitter, let you know what time he'll be coming on. And so we've got two more. We had a total of six scheduled. We have two more scheduled for tonight. And we're going to talk Ingleside Lady Mustangs, our softball program. And then we'll finish it off with our baseball. And on the screen, I have our head coach here for the Lady Mustangs, our softball coach, Kevin Lewis. Coach, how you doing?
All right, doing well. How are you doing?
Coach, I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on and spending some time with me. Coach is going to come on every Monday at 8 o'clock when he's available. So we'll have him on throughout the softball season, and he'll bring in some of his players at times. He'll ask them, and if they want to come on, we'll have them on. We'll interview them just like we do everyone else. And Coach, I'm excited about the season. I got with you guys late when you were getting into the playoffs. I think you were having the game against Cal Allen, but I saw some of the games and co-district champs from last year, second place. I thought you did really good with a sophomore pitcher that I think is going to have a great season this year. We're definitely going to talk about her tonight. But overall, Coach, just excited because you bring back a lot of those girls this year. A lot of those girls were coming back. So for me, and I think for a lot of Mustang fans, the expectations are really high for the Lady Mustangs, and we look to have a great season this year. So, like I said, we do the podcast. We're also going to be streaming a lot of the Lady Mustangs softball games, especially the ones at home. So, I've asked Coach if he knows anybody that would love to do our technical stuff or our commentating to reach out to me. But I'm letting you guys know if anyone is interested in softball, if you would love to commentate the game, put the headsets on. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Or we run our software. We'll train you. It's our equipment. If you're interested, we do pay each game. Definitely reach out to me at my email, gtsports6464 at hotmail.com. Again, gtsports6464 at hotmail.com. Reach out to me and we'll talk, and hopefully we'll get you on team. And the more people we can get, the more games we can stream. So, Coach, definitely looking forward to the podcast and streaming some of the games. A very talented team you got this year. Can't wait for to start live streaming. And tonight's our first episode, Coach. And we introduced you last year. So if you want to introduce yourself again, that'll be fine. But Coach, this is last year he went to the second round, like I said, co-district champs. But Coach, I'd like to kind of get to know who your assistant coaches are for the 2025 season.
Thanks for having me. Our assistant coaches are the same as last year, Coach Cook and Coach Spencer. Both of them are in basketball. Coach Cook on the girls' side, and Coach Spencer, the head boys basketball. So right now, it's kind of just been me out there and some seniors.
How has practice been? Yeah, Coach, how has practice been going? I mean, I'd like to get kind of the feel. You got a bulk of the team coming back from last year, very successful team. Not sure if a lot of people saw this coming outside of Ingleside, how good this team could be, because you had a young a pitcher that I didn't know anything about. But definitely after the season ended, a lot of people, including myself, knew who she was. Now I know who she is. But what's been the feeling so far this year as the season gets started? What's the feeling from the girls as far as what they're feeling they can do and accomplish this year?
You know, with any season's a new season, and when you have seniors, sometimes you're trying to get them motivated. You know, they're looking forward to graduation and all that. But once we get focused, the practices are going well, and they're really helping me with me just being out there by myself. They're running a lot of drills on their own while I'm doing other stuff. So I appreciate, their hard work when it comes to that. But we just got to get better all around, not not complacent.
Absolutely. And coach, I'm going to ask you if when you get time, if you can text me or email or send the schedule so I can have the schedule whenever you're available. You can send it to the email or text it to me.
Yes, sir.
Either way, I'd love to have the schedule just to see what home games as we plan to live stream a lot of those games. Sometimes I look through Max Prep and sometimes they're wrong and I get it wrong. So I'd rather get it from you and I know it'd be correct. So when if you could send that to me when you got time, man, I greatly appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let's talk about the roster. Not sure if you have it completed already, but if you do, can you tell us the 2025 Ingleside Lady Mustangs varsity roster?
Yes, sir. Number one, Leilani Smith. She'll be a junior. She was starting third baseman last year. Number two, Kai Sanchez, another junior. Number four, Kiki Smith. She's a freshman. She's in basketball. She hadn't been out there yet, besides hitting, but I've been watching her since I got there. Number five, Victoria Uribe, a senior. She was our center fielder. Number seven, Beth Asavis. She was injured last year. She was going to be our three hole. So I'm glad she's back. Starting, she's back to shortstop. And then number nine, Kylee Ward, junior. Number 10, Dara Davila, another freshman, first base. Number 11, Brooke Hardcastle, catcher, sophomore. Number 12, Callie Bullard, senior, outfielder. Number 14, Avery Adame, outfielder and pitcher. Number 15, Kylee Ward, a freshman. She could play everywhere. Big asset to have. Number 21, Maddie Agnew, catcher, senior. And number 22, Carol Rodriguez, another senior. She played shortstop last year. She's going to slide over to second base.
So I remember a lot of those names from last year. So nice. Still a very young team. A lot of these players will be back next year. I've heard coach around town that people that follow Ingleside Sports that I talked to, and they said that this program here, you got some talent coming up for the next couple of years. Not they didn't go into specifics, but they said that softball team's going to be good for quite some time. So a lot of talent that's coming up that I hear. You saw what they did last year, taking Cal Allen, a team that won state and only lost by a few runs, tells you just how talented this Lady Mustang team is and what the capabilities that they have. As they'll play in a very good district with Beeville, I think I'll be a little bit better. Rockport, Fulton, Calhoun's always tough. Sinton. So this is going to be a very good district. Looking forward to watching these teams battle it out. That's down the road. District is still down the road. We're just getting started with some scrimmaging and some non-district games. But coach, I want to talk a little bit about last year and your Lady Mustangs. They placed second, as I said earlier, in district. Co-champions in the district. Made it to the second round. With all that being said, and the girls that are coming back from that playoff team, what are your expectations early on for this team this year?
Well, it's always just to grow and get better every day. I'm always preaching to them about the grass. The grass it's either growing or dying, and you never hear it's the grass doesn't ever stay the same. So I try to use that analogy that you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So that's the main thing, because we know we're not going to sneak up on anybody. We're going to be the ones that are going to be the hunted, and we're going to have to play every game with focus and energy because we're going to get every team's best. But having a talented roster and some incoming freshmen, I think we'll be prepared for it.
Yeah, that's true, coach. Like I said, earlier, I didn't know what to expect. I thought that this team would be about average. No one was talking. That is not going to be the case this year. People are already talking. They know what Ingleside has coming back. So you definitely, we will be the hunted this year. I think that teams are going to be well prepared, and we're going to get the best, especially in district, from every team. They'll be better prepared when they take on these Lady Mustangs. But again, we'll be ready for it. I think the girls are up for the challenge, Coach. And when we talk about the upcoming season, for me, and how far this team can go, it starts with your junior pitcher, and that's number 9, Kylee Ward, the junior. She had a great sophomore year, not only pitching in the circle, she was the go-to person in the circle, but also on offense. So she can really, I saw her hit a home run last year. She's good offensively. She's great in the circle. What's your expectation for? I mean, if anybody saw her play, they know exactly what we're getting. But talk to us about her offseason preparation. What has she done to prepare herself for this season? And what are we going to see from her this year, you think, that we didn't see last year?
Can I say one more thing about the expectations, and then I'll hit on her. When I took over, I remember introducing myself, and then I kind of heard some chatter in the dugout that we'll just make the playoffs and lose in the first round. It's kind of what they were used to. I let them know right away that I'm the best coach around, and if I don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it. And I tell them when they walk through the gate, they're the best player that's walking through. And then that, fire should bleed over to everybody else, and they're all trying to be the best. But mainly just having confidence in yourself. And I could see that this year a little better than last year. Like, even though we got knocked out against Cal Allen, I thought we played real well and real tough. And you kind of see that confidence starting to grow with them, and I'm proud of that. Now, Kylee Ward, number 9. First off, very disappointed that the Coastal Bend coaches didn't realize that this is the top pitcher in the area. She didn't get voted in as Hook's preseason All-Star. She had 20 wins last season and shut down Cal Allen to 2 earned runs. I'm not sure how many pitchers around here can do that. But she and I, we're going to use that as motivation. She's worked really hard on all her pitches since last season. She's worked on one pitch in particular. I don't think I want to say it right now. I kind of want to let her bring it out. And I think she probably got tired of me complaining that I needed it, because it was a big help. But she has mastered it. She's faced 37 batters in the scrimmages, and she struck out 30. And a lot of them is on that one pitch, because we've only been throwing a few pitches. So I think she's going to really take off this year. And I just hope she comes hungry, because she should be one of the top pitchers, and I just don't understand how she wasn't voted on that All-Star team, but it's okay.
Yeah, Coach, I got to tell you, I wasn't going to bring that up, but when I looked, I didn't see her name, and I thought, wow. I was just like, wow, like how does she not get mentioned, right? Because of her game and what she did, especially in that playoff game against Allen, a team that ended up winning the state title back to back. I mean, I don't understand either. I don't know how they vote in and vote out, but obviously, in my opinion, she should have been in. Wasn't. But here on the MPND Sports Network, we're going to give her and the other players all the recognition. We know the talent that we have here in Ingleside, and that's why I put this podcast together, not only to show the community of Ingleside the talent that we have here for the boys and the girls, but live streaming the games, but the surrounding areas that consistently, speaking about award, that it's not one game or 2 games, it's consistently that she can go out there and circle and shut good teams down. But offensively too, Coach, she's an all-around great softball player. As a sophomore, she's still growing. I mean, I don't think we've seen the best from her, and that's the scary part when you face Ingleside. Is she's only a junior this year, did all of this as a sophomore. I really don't think, Coach, that we have seen the best of Kylee Ward, but definitely looking forward to streaming the games, having her on the podcast, recognizing her and her teammates, because I think this team is going to be right back, and they're going to start where they left off this year, and they're going to be a tough team. Ingleside is going to be a handful for teams that have to go against the Lady Mustangs. It's going to be a great season, and I hope that the Mustang community and the surrounding areas are ready for some softball, because this district, coach, is going to be really, really good. I've seen it on my screen here. I have like 6 monitors, but in the one in the middle, I have this district down, ready for the stats, ready to talk to coaches, ready to go see these games when I can, because it's going to be a good one. So again, hopefully, Coach, we'll have Kylee Ward. We didn't have her on tonight, but in the next couple of podcasts, I'm sure Coach will bring her on, and we can talk to her. But looking to have a great year. I'm looking forward to Kylee having another great year, her junior year, like her sophomore. And looking forward to that pitch that you're talking about too, Coach. Definitely want to go out there and check that out. Coach, when you talk about I saw the non-district schedule, and I got to tell you, from Max Prep, you're playing some tough, tough tournaments and tough teams and some tough tournaments. So the Lady Mustangs are going to get tested early and often with this non-district that they're going to be playing. When you put this district together, these teams, non-district for your team, what's the expectations for them? What do you want to see from the Lady Mustangs when they play these tough teams in the non-district?
Well, one, if anyone knows me, I'm not going to take the easy road ever. You know, I feel like the harder you make it in non-district, the better off you are for district in the playoffs. For us, you know, we have a lot of positions they're still getting battled for. We returned 7 starters. One was injured, so that's really 8. And then you add 3 freshmen, and then some other ones that were on JV. You know, so you got a lot of hungry players. So, you know, just kind of seeing how these position battles, you know, come out, and I think it'll make your team deeper. I'm always, you know, preaching that you're only stronger than your weakest link, and I think with the depth that we're building, it doesn't really matter who's in the game. It's about the program, and we've seen that, you know, with girls in basketball, and you know, kind of rotating in and out during the scrimmages. There's really no drop off, no matter who's in the game. And as a coach, you know, you got to be proud of that everybody is picking up something. Speaking of the game, just kind of talk a little bit about it. We're going to College Station next week. It's always an overnight fun trip for the girls. Gonna do a little Galentine's thing on Thursday, you know, just to let them have some memories. But we better be ready to go. We're playing all 6 games against 6A teams. Those teams, Argyle, Eaton, and South Lake Carroll, you know, softball powerhouses. And then week 2, we come back for IWA's tournament, play Alice, Aubrey, which I think was a series away from state and 4A, and then another 6A Manville, and then Bishop is always great. And then for our tournament, I didn't take it easy on myself either. We have Cuero, Wimberley, PSJ North. They're going to be coached real well. I've had a lot of battles with Coach Esparza, and then Henderson coming 8 hours. Good friend of mine, coach. He's one of the best coaches out there. They lost to Liberty in the second round, who played Cal Allen in state. So they're going to be battle tested. So it's going to be tough. And then, you know, we got a rematch with Cal Allen on spring break. And then a week after that against SG Academy, who's always good. I don't think I've ever beat Coach De Los Santos' team. So it's not going to be easy, but I think we're going to be ready for district.
You know, Coach, when I looked at it, I just stared at it and I was like, wow. Like, the first thing that popped into my mind is okay, Coach Lewis, he knows his girls can compete with him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put him in there. So I knew right off the bat when you made him that you know this team can compete with them. Otherwise, why would a coach put him in there, right? So I know that we're gonna get tested, and whether you get the W's or not, it's gonna prepare us for the district. And you're right, it's gonna pay. However, it turns out for us in the non-district, playing those teams can only make you better. And I think when it comes to district where it matters, these girls are going to be very well prepared and ready to go. And again, I'll say it again, Ingleside is going to be the hunted. They're not going to be the hunters, right? People know what they did. That game against Cal Allen, coach, really opened a lot of eyes. Even though I think the score was 4-1, if I remember correctly.
Two
Just
to
the
one, 2-1 going to the bottom of the sixth.
bottom of the sixth. It's to play a team like that, a team that ended up winning it all, says a lot about this program and where it's going and the direction it's going. And that's why every home game, every out of town game, this community of Ingleside needs to get behind this program. It needs to be packed every time at home. It needs to be loud, home field advantage. What these girls did last year was amazing, and nobody expected it. This year should be no surprise to this community how good this team is and how we need to go out there every game on Tuesdays and Fridays to support them, especially when they're at home. So I'm looking forward, Coach, to the stands being packed, to it being loud, and giving us the home field advantage here when we take on some tough teams. Tough teams in the non-district. Our own tournament here is going to have some good teams. So hopefully you guys will come out and support. And then when it gets into district is when it counts, and that's when we need everybody out there cheering. These games are going to be tough, and they're going to go down to the last inning. So a hit here, an error here could determine the game. So we're looking for all of Ingleside, the community, to definitely come behind this softball team and support him this year. Hopefully we get into the playoffs. Competing for a district title is for sure, and then getting and making another deep playoff run, this time past the second round. Going to be very interesting, Coach. I'm very excited to see this team this year. We're going to catch a lot of their games and interview a lot of their players this year. So looking forward to the season. Coach, I'd like to talk about the sub-varsity, obviously. What are the numbers? What does it look like? I'm always interested when the season starts, what our numbers look like for the program, but also what is your expectation of the sub-varsity team?
I think total we have 24. One is out though, so it makes 23. We've been rolling with 17, so I guess that leaves 6. I think 6 or so in 6 or 7 in basketball. So really just been practicing all together. And there's a few freshmen, Ruby Eppard and Kylee Chiddicks. They have bought in 1,000%. Man, they hustle everywhere. They're one of a coach's dream. Freshmen usually kind of passive, but they go all out, trying to earn respect from their teammates and, trying to earn a spot on varsity. So those two have really opened my eyes. They just do things the right way. And there's something that I tell, all the parents and the kids in our meetings. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing, and there is never a right time to do the wrong thing. And those girls, take that to heart. They've been, you need a screen taken away. They're the first on it. You need this put up. They're running 100 miles an hour to do it. So I think they're going to set the tone for the JV. And my expectation for them, once we get everybody out there and get them acclimated and, basketball's over, I think they can win district, just like the varsity, because they're going to have, there's going to be a lot of leftover talent on that JV team that needs to play and get ready for next year when we lose, I guess, 6 seniors. So, that's the main thing, is letting them play and getting experience, but practicing with the varsity so that they already have everything down.
Again, coach, it's going to be a great season. Not to put any pressure on you or the Lady Mustangs, but the expectations, I'm sure, are high for the community. Rightfully so. The girls have earned it. You know, they've earned all the praise that they get. You know, being a young team, returning everybody back and just playing the way they played last year was very exciting. And this year, I'm looking forward to catching more of the Ingleside games. Only caught two, I think, last year, and heard one on the stream. But just looking forward to this team, and you know, seeing how this district is going to play out. Because by no means, when we talk about this team, doesn't mean it's going to be given. You're going to have to earn it. There are some really good teams, and the teams in this district, I've watched them for like the last 5 years. They have battled back and forth. I remember, Coach, a couple years ago when Rockport was predicted to win a district. I think they were really good. And I remember they went until I think 18, 17 innings in Rockport, where Ingleside was battling. And it was until I can't remember the inning, but late they got a hit outfield and scored one run. And it was a battle between these teams. Calhoun has always been good, well coached out there. Beeville has been good. And Sinton coached very well out there with Coach Troutman. So by no means is this district going to be easy, but there's some great pitching in this district, great offense, great coaching. You get it all in this district. So when the district starts, definitely want to come out, support your team, and come out and watch some good softball. Really excited for Ingleside, coach. And I'm going to ask you here live
I spent 4 years in Orange Grove and 3 in the district. So I know it's always been a battle. And then when I got the Ingleside job, I called Coach Reyes over at Rockport, told her I had some bad news, and her first thing was, "You got the Ingleside job?" And I said, "Yeah." And she she knew. So you're right. It's always a battle. There's a lot of good coaches in the district. And I tell the girls every day, I've never heard of another team just saying, "Hey, you can win the game just because of your name." You got to go out and earn it.
Yeah, but it's good for Coastal Bend softball, coach, to have the coaches that we have, but also the players to be able to recognize the pitching, the offense, the outfield, the shortstop. I mean, there's a lot of talent, and I've seen that for the last couple of years, and it just goes unnoticed. No one really talks about the district, or no one really talks about the players, and that's why this podcast I put together is important for the coaches to come out and talk about their program and their players and get some recognition to the players. Rightfully deserve. They deserve it. They put all the work. I see a lot of these girls, they play softball all year round. It never stops for them. Summertime vacation, they're going out playing weekend after weekend after weekend. I mean, they put a lot of time in that people don't see. And that's what I want to give them an opportunity to come out and talk to the community and surrounding areas and anybody that's going to watch it. What did you do? What are you doing to get better so that hopefully people can come? We want to go support our program. This is what we have. This is our sports in Ingleside, and we should all come together as a community and support all of our programs. And we do that by coming out and cheering them on when we can, when they play a game, or if you're out of town, support them through the MPND Sports Network, our live stream. That's what it was created for. So looking forward to a great season, Coach, and looking forward to having you back next Monday at Coach Lewis will be back. Coach, I'll be looking forward to the schedule, but can you tell us when is the first actual non-district game?
Next Tuesday against John Paul at 6 o'clock.
Is that at home there in Ingleside?
Yes, sir. It's at home.
So it's a varsity plays at 6, so that's next week. So definitely come on out. It's our first game against JP John Paul. You said right, the second?
Yes, sir.
Sir, so that's gonna be a good one. 6 o'clock is game time. Coach, thank you very much for coming out. Looking forward to seeing you next Monday. If you want to bring in your star pitcher, she's more than welcome. If you want to bring another player, don't hesitate. Definitely looking forward to interviewing some of the players. But I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add before we let you go?
Just excited, to coach these girls. They're learning valuable qualities to be the best versions of themselves. Just want them to continue to grow and make the community proud. We scrimmage academy on Friday at home, so that's a good. They're well coached, so that'll be a good tune-up for next week.
What time does the scrimmage start?
JV, we're going to kind of start a little early at 4:30 so that we could start the varsity at like 5:45, 6, so we can get a little more time with them. So roughly 5 o'clock mainly, and then the varsity will probably get going about 6.
All right. So you hear a scrimmage on Friday. They're at home. Definitely come on out. And then next week, first game, John Paul will be at home. So it's time to get ready. Get your softball stuff ready. Get your voice ready. Let's scream out loud and support our Lady Mustangs. It's going to be a great.
Bring the and tell all the parents to bring those train noises because they don't really complain until we get to district.
There you go. As much support as we can get. Coach, we're going to give as much recognition to this program as we possibly can, recognize the players and yourself. Thank you for coming out. It's going to be a great season. And if you need anything, Coach, from us during the weekday, anything we can do to help you, anything you want us to put on the network, don't hesitate to send me an email. Any way that I can help this program, I'm definitely looking to help this program out and Ingleside Sports.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely, Coach. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Sure. Give me a second. Now that was Coach Kevin Lewis. I'm now going to send the information to Coach Sanchez to have baseball coming up. Give me just a couple of minutes. All right. So again, it's Mustang Podcast Monday, where we talk. We bring 6 coaches on. We have 6 coaches scheduled, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and so every Monday. So definitely tune in. We'll talk basketball, we'll talk soccer, and then of course we're bringing in our softball and our baseball as the season gets started. So next up from 8:30 tonight, we're running a little late. Is Coach Sanchez. He is our head coach for baseball, so definitely looking forward to talking to him and getting his thoughts on the 2025 season. Again, we do this podcast to get the community to support our programs. It gives the coaches an opportunity to come on and talk about what they're doing, but really recognizing the players. The coaches get to talk about the players, and the players also get to come on, those that want to, and talk. And they get to talk about the coach too and see how things are going. So it is a little bit of work, but I enjoy it. And I think we're just a small part of shining some light on our program and all the talented kids that we have. A lot of these kids put so much time. I talked to Coach Lewis. You heard me talk about softball. You see these postings. Some of these parents and kids, they play softball all year round, and they're traveling long distance to go out there to get better. No vacation. Sometimes they do the same thing in basketball. And so they're out there working out in the weight room, running, getting in shape to be the best version of themselves, to represent the school and this community. And the one thing we can do as a community is support our high school programs. I talk a lot about sports, but band and choir and all of the stuff that they do. Those kids put a lot of time in whatever it is that they're doing in any program. And so, as a community, the thing that we can do is support them, right? Go out there, cheer for them. I know when you play sports and you see um, a uh, a gym packed, a stadium packed. Um, it brings out the best in you. It pumps you up, and you want to give it your all. And so those are the things that we can do as a community. Really rally around our coaches and our players, and show the support that Mustang Pride. You know, the MPND Mustang Pride never dies. It should never die, right? But it's got to be alive and kicking every Tuesday, every Friday, every Thursday, not only for our varsity, but our sub-varsity, our middle school, our youth programs. This year, I watched youth football, and I plan to go do the same thing with basketball, little league, softball, baseball. That's our future. That's the future. You want to be talking about the future. This is not just about varsity and what we're doing this year, what we're going to do next year, but what's coming in the next 4 or 5 years. And the youth kids that play these sports, the sub-varsity middle school, that's our future here in Ingleside. So we definitely want to recognize those coaches, and we definitely want to recognize those players as well. So that's what this podcast does. This is what connected with the live stream, being able, the bigger our team is, the more games we can live stream. And our goal here is to live stream the season, the baseball season, every game, home and out, softball, basketball, right? We're not there yet, but we're working on getting there. And then you just add the podcast that interviews the coaches and the players. It's just an added bonus to the live stream. We'll be going out there to practice when coach will allow me to interview players, so we can get as many interviews throughout the season, not only on this podcast, but out on the field as well, interviewing after the game as well. That's what's fun. The wins are good, the losses are bad, but supporting your team and showing them that we're behind them 100% is what counts. And the more support the community can give out at the games, supporting the live stream, the better for our kids and our program. So hopefully, hopefully we get a big crowd for baseball and softball. So give me a second here. Let me see. Right. So we're fixing to start our last podcast of the evening, and that's going to be our baseball, Ingleside Mustang baseball podcast with Coach Sanchez.
There we go.
Will
There we
come
go. Sorry, can you hear me?
third coach. So coach will hopefully be coming on every Monday. We're going to invite him every Monday at 8:30 when he can come on to talk about his program. And on the screen, we have our head baseball coach here in Ingleside, Richard Sanchez. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, Coach. We've had 6 podcast schedules. So I call it the Monday Mustang podcast, right? So we do basketball. Both of our coaches come on. The podcasts are 30 minutes. And then we do our soccer. Coach Williams can come on. And then we just got off with
Coach Will probably needs 2 hours for himself. He's long-winded.
Yeah, he told me, man, I can't make it today. So we're probably gonna try to reschedule him on Wednesday. But I love and thank you for accepting the invite. We want the coaches to come out. Our goal, coach, is to put a team together. So we created the MPND Sports Network to be able to bring podcasting and live streaming. So for you guys, it's about getting the podcast once a week on Monday. It's single sides. Coaches come on. You can bring in some players anytime you want on your podcast. We keep them about 5, 7, 10 minutes just to kind of recognize them, give them some questions, introduce them to the community, and then we finish up the questions with the coach. So anytime you want to bring any of your players on, feel free. We'll talk about the sub-varsity, your middle school, if you have a middle school baseball program, what's going on at the other levels. We'll recap some games, Coach, and then preview. So we recap the 2 games or tournament, then preview the upcoming games, talk player performance and stats. We want to recognize those players that had a good game, whether it be strikeouts for a pitcher or a good night offense, whoever. You can send me stats after a game. We want to recognize those that had great games. This podcast is all positive, no negative at all. So I want to thank you for coming on and spending some time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Coach. So the first question is, I'd like for you to introduce yourself to the community and surrounding areas. Coach, how long have you been in Ingleside? Are you from this area? And how did you get involved in coaching baseball?
Well, I'm Richard Sanchez. This is my 5th year here in Ingleside. I came down here in 2020. The mask year was my first school year. So I'm originally from Sabinal, Texas, down there by the Frio, and I went to high school in Uvalde. So I'm down there from around that area. All my other coaching stints were kind of in that area: La Pryor, Pearsall, Uvalde for a year, and then I spent 5 years, I believe, at Sabinal. So this was my first time, kind of venturing out of that little corner, that little pocket of Texas. I came down here. The former head baseball coach, when I first got down here, I was the assistant for 2 years, and the former head baseball coach and defensive coordinator, Rene Muniz, he's actually a college teammate of mine. So, he called me when his assistant resigned, and it was kind of just looking to make a move, and it was hard. It was hard to leave home and all that, but just kind of looking to branch out. And so I was glad I did. My 5th year here, and I've met some great people and worked with some great coaches, and I really, really enjoy the community. So that's it.
It's a great community, Coach, and it's always tough to leave home. Big decision, but we're glad to have you here running our baseball program. And with that said, obviously you set the culture here for Ingleside. You're the head man. It all starts with you, but any successful program has to have some great assistants. Who are your 2025 assistant coaches?
Well, I have 2 assistants. I have Josh Caulfield, who is an Ingleside class of 2008, I believe. He handles the pitching staff and the catchers. And then I have Marcos Pina, veteran coach, been 30 years in the business. He's getting back into baseball. He had been out for a while, so he's going to handle our outfielders. And they're both Coach Caulfield had been a head coach before. Like I said, he's from here, so he is Mustang pride. And Coach Pina, he's old school with a hard work ethic, and it's a good mix. I'm blessed to have some quality assistants this year.
Absolutely. Just to let you know, Coach. So Josh is married to my cousin Miranda.
Oh, okay, good deal.
So
Good
that's
deal.
how,
Oh yeah, Miranda's a cool girl too. She's a good person. She's a good girl.
oh yeah. So their family, Timmy, and I've heard some great things. I don't remember Josh playing. I know he's from Ingleside, but I've heard what his study was in football. Heard some great things, and so I didn't know that because he didn't really ever, or the family doesn't really ever talk about his accomplishments. So I think a good player is just going to keep it to himself. But people
Yeah,
around,
no, he's a very humble guy. He's a good dude.
yeah, they talk. So great to have them. Hopefully, we can have them on the podcast sometime.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball season would be good, would be great. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the varsity roster. So if you have it already, who's on the varsity this year for the Mustangs?
Well, I haven't really split the rosters yet. We got 22 out total. So, I haven't split. We had a scrimmage Saturday, and we kind of just mixed the teams. And so I hadn't really split the rosters yet, but I have, just to kind of read you off who I have. I've seniors, Drayden Garcia and Dylan Reed, juniors, Jaden Ramirez and Justin Bryant. Sophomores, we have Johnny Ramirez, Lance Van Meter, Marcus Barone, Marcos Pina, Remy Bullard, Jeff Copley, Michael Alanis, and Logan Flaherty. And then our freshmen are Jaden Tetcher, Landon Young, Jacob Hinojosa, Jason Salais, Clancy Morling, Jackson Matern, Dominic Tringali, Braden Ramirez, and Roberto Solis. And I also, if I can, I want to give a shout out. We have a sophomore returner. He's he's had some health issues. He's been in the hospital. He underwent surgery. So we want Brendan Gutierrez we want to give him a big shout out. He's been heavy on our hearts and heavy on our minds these last couple of weeks we've been out there. So we miss having him out there, and we're thinking about him.
Did you say what grade was he in,
He's a
Coach?
sophomore. He's a sophomore as well. So I'm pretty sophomore heavy.
Yeah, very young team, and definitely will keep the player in prayer. Obviously, make sure that everything is okay with him, Coach, and definitely keep us posted.
Thank you.
Situation. Definitely, we want to win games, but definitely health comes first. So definitely, we'll keep them in our. Coach, you lost quite a few seniors. I knew Aiden Jacobson last year. We kind of interviewed him. There was some players you had that I knew that not sure how many you lost, but just a few. How many just returning players on varsity do you have? Do you have that count already?
Yeah, returning guys that saw varsity action last year. I got 6. I have Drayden and Dylan, my 2 seniors, Jaden Ramirez, Marcus Barone. Marcus Barone, Lance Van Meter, and Johnny Ramirez were all kind of thrown in the fire somewhat last year as freshmen. So I got those six coming back.
That's a very young team. So let's see what we do this year. But for the fans, again, we talk about our varsity players or seniors, rightly so, because they'll be gone next year, right? So we want to give them enough recognition. But coach, what's always important to me is also talking about our future, talking about the sub-varsity and the younger players, because we want to be competitive for a very long time. So definitely a young team that Coach Sanchez has this year. It's going to be very interesting and exciting to see what we do and what's been a pretty tough district the last couple of years with Sinton being there. I mean, Sinton has been a powerhouse. They came to the last couple of years, those state semis, winning one state title. I mean, Coach Alanis had some dudes.
Yep.
So it's tough to play them. Calhoun's always tough. Beeville's tough. Rockport Ford. So we're in a tough district. So definitely looking forward to the season and see what we can do. Let's talk about your non-district schedule. So you set up those teams. What do you want to see early on, Coach, from this young team in the non-district?
I want to see, and I, like you said, you talk about the tradition rich, baseball that's down here in the coastal bend, and you talk about the obvious, the Sintons and the Robstowns and the Cal Allens and the Moody's and the London, so Teloso. So we're actually we're playing London in a non-district game, and we're playing Teloso Midway in a non-district game. We're also playing SGA, who's become a very, very formidable team in 3A. They were in the regional finals with London in their same district a couple years ago. So Coach Galvan does a good job. So, I just want to, I want to see them grow. I want to see them compete. Like I said, we in order to get to where we want to be, we got to see that. We got to see that kind of competition, and we're not going to run from it. So, that's my thing, being able to come together as a team, play for one another, and we're going to be put in some adverse situations. I want to see the youth that we have, and how they respond in those adverse situations. And, just because, and I said this to myself in the fall, I've been tallying over here, and I'm not giving you a hard time, but you've said the word young 4 times. And I just refuse. I refuse because, to me, it kind of sounds like it's pessimistic, glass half empty. We might have some youth, but we don't need to play like it is my thing. So just getting them to grow up, getting them to grow and respond to adversity, and just go out and have fun, go out and play ball. It's a game. So that's one thing I've been telling them. It's a game. From a coaching standpoint, from a playing standpoint, not, me, Coach Pena, Coach Caulfield, we'd give anything to go play ball again. It's a game. Enjoy it. Have fun. It'll always be a game. So, that's pretty much all I have, sir.
It is. And, the thing is baseball's big here in the coastal bend. You talked about some of the teams, London, Tufts, SGA, and then the Cal Allens, the Carrolls, the Moody's, the Robstowns, the future. So a lot of good teams that a lot of coaches look to play. Teloso Midway, we'll definitely cover them as well out there with Coach Moody. But it's good. it's good for the Coastal Bend and teams to be able to play them. You want to see what you got to do to get to that level. So I think it's good. You don't have to go very far. I think, in my opinion,
Mhm.
a lot of very good teams are right there around the corner, whether you're in 3A, 2A, or the big
Mhm.
four guys. It's all here. So it's definitely good competition for us here. And hopefully more teams will continue. And we'll see them 3-4 rounds in the playoffs. That'd be great here in the Coastal Bend. Coach Sanchez, I'd like to take this opportunity to give you this opportunity to talk about one of your players. One of the things that I like doing on the podcast is giving the coach an opportunity when we don't have a player on the podcast to talk about one of your players. A returning player could be, or a young player, you pick, but someone that's growing, that you're seeing, they put the work in. That you see them, they're growing, or they have grown in this program, and not only what they're doing on the baseball field, but what do they do around the community? If they do anything, what type of student are they? Just overall, one of our players there for our baseball program.
Yes, sir. Our because I have two seniors, and one of the seniors, Dylan Reed, he's in basketball. So I really have one senior out there practicing right now. Drayden Garcia. He's, I met when I got here. He was in eighth grade. And him and I have built a great rapport. He's a great kid, comes from a good family. He's really grown. Freshman year, he saw some varsity time. Sophomore year, due to some injuries and other situations, he saw some. He was asked to be a pretty steady guy in the lineup that year, and he's just he's grown, from a mental standpoint. He's bought into the weight room, gotten a lot stronger, a lot faster. I joked with him the other day, like, I might actually give you the steal sign this year, man. It's crazy. But he's a good kid, and he committed to play at Our Lady of the Lake, actually, and he's signing on Wednesday. So we talked about how being an early commit kind of just takes the pressure off. Now just go have fun and play ball, and we're asking him to be in more of a leadership role, not so much vocal, but just kind of, by example. And we've had talks as far as thinking in terms of, what kind of ball player he wants to be in college, what he wants his mental makeup to be, and I think when your most experienced player is your hardest worker, you're going in the right direction. So, he's a member of the Ingleside golf team. So I think, I don't know if I played here and there, but golf is one of the most mentally frustrating games probably there is. So he's, from a mental standpoint, like I said, he's come a long way. He's a great student. I just got all their grade check forms back, 3-week grade checks, and, teachers had some nice things to say about him. I know he umpires Little League as well. So he does some things in the community, and I'm just hoping we can give him a senior season he can be proud of, and he just goes out there and just plays ball, has a good time.
Absolutely, make some memories, Coach. When does he sign again? This upcoming
Wednesday. He'll sign Wednesday at 3:15, I believe, in our gym in Ingleside. That'll be a signing day, and I'll share it. I'll share it on Facebook and stuff. So, but yeah, he's signing Wednesday, so we're proud of him. He's going to play at the next level.
That's awesome. Anytime we can get a player, every time we see a player, we definitely want to recognize that player. That's a big achievement going, continuing to play the sport that you love at the next level. I don't care where you go, as long as you're playing, you're doing good. So definitely, I'll get it from when you post it and share it onto our network as well. Like I said, part of this podcast that we want to do this year is recognize the program, give the coaches an opportunity to talk about what they're doing and how they're building the program. But it's about recognizing the players, especially those seniors that won't be back next year. As much recognition as we can give them, as much as we can talk about them, is something that we want to do here on the MPND Sports Network. So again, for the community of Ingleside. So we're gonna have these podcasts. So basketball season will end in a couple of weeks. So then we'll just jump into full. We'll have our soccer coaches, and then we'll have our softball and baseball coaches. So baseball season just started. We have invited Coach Sanchez to come on every Monday. Now, Coach, once the basketball season opens, there'll be some earlier slots open. So if you want to go there, let me know. If you want to keep the 8:30, I'm good with that. But definitely looking forward to having Coach Sanchez on this podcast for the baseball season, and it will include some of his players. He'll pick the players. He'll let me know when they come on. So we'll have some of our baseball players coming on, and then we'll live stream as many of the games as possible. So, Coach, I got to ask you. I usually don't ask this question on a live. I usually do it when we're not live, but when we go out there and stream, is there a place that we can set up? We come with our equipment. We come with our stuff, and then we come with one commentator and one tech guy. Is there a place that we can set up?
Yeah, there is. Yes, sir. That press box is kind of tight. I'd have to kind of look and get back to you on that because so we got a brand new. They did the backstop. We got a new netting and stuff. So, yeah, we definitely love for you to come out and showcase it. So I'd have to look and kind of see what fits best. That press box is kind of crammed, but we might be able to make it work.
Okay, Coach Weber, we just need a plug in to plug in. If the weather's good, man, we just want to be able to get some stuff out there. So I'll get back with you, or you can
Yes,
get
sir.
back with me when you got a spot for us. But we're definitely looking to stream a lot of the games. Most of the games this year that we will stream will be the home games there for Ingleside, just like we'll do the softball. But we also are looking to build our team around there. So tech guy, we have a trainer that will train you on our software. So how you can put the scoreboard up there, and then we're looking for some commentating guys. You put the headsets on, and you can commentate. Man, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But if you know baseball and you love baseball and you don't mind commentating, we'd love to have you. We do asking for sponsorship, so we will pay our commentators. We will pay our tech guys. So if you're interested, definitely send me a message on my email, gtsports6464@hotmail.com. That's gtsports6464@hotmail.com. And we'll hopefully hook you up. And like I said, we want to be out in the community looking for some sponsorship for our baseball and softball. Hopefully some businesses will come our way. We got some great package deals and game day sponsors. So, Coach, looking forward to a great season, man. Looking to have you every Monday come on, looking to have the assistant coaches come on and the players as well. So thank you for coming out. The podcast lasts about 30 minutes. We'll have Coach Sanchez scheduled next Monday again. Coach, when does the first game start for Ingleside?
So that's what I was going to tell you. We play next Monday. We open up in Kingsville at HM King. So we'll talk. It'll have to be another day, and that'll be and then we'll play the following Monday. But I think the next couple Mondays we'll have a game, or something like that. So I'll get with you on that. But we do play next Monday in Kingsville, JV at 5 and varsity at 7.
Okay, no problem. Whenever you're available, we'll come back on and we'll bring Coach Sanchez when he's available. I know the games start on Tuesdays and Fridays, but if he's got to play on Monday, once there's no game on Monday and he's available, we'll bring him back on. But Coach, definitely send me the stats, man. We definitely love to recognize any of our players offensively and defensively that are having great nights. This podcast is pure positive, no negative, no talking bad about coaches, no kids. It's all positive. So anything that these kids do that's great that you want to share, please send it to my email and I'll definitely post it on the MPND Sports Network. That's Coach Sanchez. Looking forward to having him every Monday when he's available to talk Ingleside Mustangs baseball. Coach, thank you very much, and I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add?
No, I appreciate you having me. We're gonna get out there. We're gonna be competitive, and we're gonna be disciplined, and we're gonna go go see if we can play spoiler and have a little fun doing it.
Absolutely, make some memories. Looking forward to it, Coach. And when you get an opportunity, if you can email me the schedule, I'll definitely appreciate it. Start setting up when we want to go out there and scrimmage. Live stream. And Coach, I'll let you know. I'll send you an email prior to the game to let you know when we'll be out there and if everything works out for you on your side to get us up there.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Thirino. Sounds good.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. Have a great night and good luck on Monday.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Sure.